Well, sitting in a hotel up north was not the Father's Day that I had in mind, but it is the Father's Day that I had. It's the nature of the beast when you're doing the line of work I am as an interventionist. I had to come up north yesterday. I've got an intervention this morning. Now, this guy, he knows that I'm coming. He knows we have a meeting today. He's been on a need-to-know basis, which that's completely appropriate to do. They let him know that a professional's coming to the house to meet with the entire family because the entire family is struggling. The entire family is tired. Family as a whole is not where they want to be, so they've brought in a professional to help them out. He didn't really put up too much of a fight about it. You know, sometimes in our interventions, the individual doesn't know we're coming. Oftentimes at an intervention, they do know we're coming. But oftentimes it's just not the right thing to do. See, people think the intervention happens once I show up to the door, but the intervention is just part of a process. The process actually starts when they engage me. And it's not like I'm doing this masterful work. What happens is when you've got the entire family together, they support one another. The interventionist just guides them along, keeps people from stabbing each other, keeps things on track, keeps everyone out of the emotional ditch. I'm getting ready to head out of the door. We got a couple of his friends are showing up too, which is very, very powerful because it displays not only does the family think there's an issue that something needs to be done. When you have two really good friends that are showing up as well in support of the family and support of this individual going to get well, it shows the suffering individual that this just isn't some shenanigans that the family's put together. All this isn't just a family doing their stuff again. That this is very serious and that everyone is united. Because an alcoholic or an addicted individual loves to have everyone in different compartments. It likes to have the parents in one compartment, maybe the spouse in another compartment, the good friends in another compartment. But what we're going to show him today is that all the compartments are down. That there are no more secrets. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Getting ready to go get in the car after I pray, meet this family, and we'll keep you tuned in. If everything rolls right, I'll go from here. I'll go down in the deep south, drop him off, and then I'll go back to my home base in Richmond. I should be back in Richmond tonight by, I'd say, midnight, and I'll be home by 1 a.m. if everything goes well. Oftentimes, you all know with air travel, it doesn't. A guy that's in different stages of withdrawal or, just had what he perceives as a horrible day in his life and walking around like somebody kicked his dog or her dog and, getting stuck in an airport with them. That's never pleasant, But, it seems like a good day to fly. I've checked all the flights. Everything seems to be on time. We should be good to go. So, and you get to see the coolest little towns, and not a big city guy, but you get to see some really cool towns when you do this travel for work all the time. It's a crazy occupation. Now, I can remember I couldn't travel. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't be a part of anything because I had to stay tied to a methadone clinic, or I had to, couldn't get far away from the pill dealer because I could get sick, or I didn't have any money. I just want to give this guy the freedom that I have. And I know that I can't give it to him, but I can assist at least to get him on the path to where he can get it. And where he's going, they only hold 14 people. I mean, it's a really small, intimate program. I don't work with, just a willy-nilly bunch of treatment centers. I'm not around here trying to get every intervention from every facility because, quite frankly, I don't like how most facilities operate. I really don't. And when I say work with, I don't financially engage with any treatment center. I don't work for treatment. I work for the families. And I make that very clear. But ethically, I can't tell them, hey, go here. I can't do that. I never will. There are some cases where it's just obvious that an individual needs a particular program. But again, that's the family's call. I can only suggest places. And I like it better like that because let's say I get a family and say, hey, send him here, go here. And then he doesn't do the work, or the family doesn't do the work, or whatever, and he has a bad experience. Or the treatment drops the ball. I mean, that's not unheard of. The treatment drops the ball. And they was like, well, you told us to go here. Yeah, I'm not going to be in that position. So let's go see what God has in store for us today. So after about 2 hours of this family giving some absolutely fantastic letters, the family did a great job. They didn't get into the emotional ditch. They were just wonderful to work with. In about 2 hours of him saying no and no and no, because he was afraid that he was going to be going to the same type of facility that he went to before. And that type of facility is just your typical, which is largely across the country everywhere, your typical 30-day spin cycle, disease concept model of treatment. It's like a facility, and it's 100 beds, and he did not have a good experience. He didn't find it helpful. I'm not shocked at all by that, because they're largely ineffective to some degree. He got on the phone with this facility that the family has chosen for him this time. He is actually able to get on the phone with the owner of the facility, and they were out there on my phone talking around, walking around his yard for a good 30 minutes. And he came back in, opened the door, and said, "Hey guys, you know what? I'm gonna go. And the family's just elated. So now we've got to rush to make the flight that we've got booked. We don't have a lot of time. We didn't spring this as a surprise. The family had told him that they were working with a professional and told him that we had a family meeting today. So he knew this was coming, but there was some pressure on him to make the decision immediately. And he's just like most of us out here, it has to be our decision, and we have to sit with this and process it for a little while, and that's what he did. But he never denied having a problem. He just said, no, I don't want to go, and I don't think it's the right path for me, and this and that. And I said, look, you have to go by what your experience shows you, not what your head is telling you. And do you have an experience that shows you what's best for you right now? He didn't have a rebuttal to that. He really didn't have any rebuttals to anything we were saying. He was just dug in. And it just took some time. It took some compassion. It took some truth. It took some being direct. It took the entire family and the entire team to get this guy to be like, you know what? Okay, let's go. And he's a great guy. So we got to get to the airport, catch the flights. Well, we made the flight, and not only did they pick up from the airport, but the owner of the facility and his wife showed up as well along, and aside from the driver that was there to pick the guy up, the treatment center owner and his wife showed up. They said they were on a date night. They had a babysitter, and they wanted to come meet the guy, and they wanted to see me. And that was pretty cool. She brought some cookies. That's just a cool thing. You don't get that everywhere you go, He is definitely ready for a change. He was just, concerned that it was going to be like the other place that he went. And he's like, I just don't want to do that. To be able to be a part of this, to be able to be a part of this experience. And I really can't take any credit for any of this, right? The family did the work. I just guided them. That's all I did. I just guided them. It's amazing to sit back and watch a family come together like that and build strength as we go. It's like watching a wave come in when it's coming to the shore, it just builds and builds. This is how a good family reacts through the intervention process, as they build strength. And then I witnessed a resolve about them about halfway through the intervention that was just going to be unbreakable. They held firm in what they're willing to do and what they're no longer willing to do. Interventions are very rarely about a lot of chaos. Families are deathly afraid of interventions, and you get a lot of chatter from people that don't know about interventions, but they have an opinion about an experience they've never had. And they're very willing to share that opinion with you on social media or wherever about interventions don't work. And I almost giggle about it right now, because they have no idea what they're talking about. And this wasn't about forcing anyone to do anything. We made that very clear. Hey, you've got a car you can get in, and you have a condo that you can get back to. No one's here to force you to do anything. This has to be your decision. You have to really dig down here today and ask yourself, do I want to continue living the way I'm living? And you have to go by what your experiences show you, not what your head is telling you, bud. The same defenses that he threw up about why he didn't want to go to treatment are the same defenses that most everyone else says during an intervention. Do you have an experience that shows you that you can figure this out? Do you have an experience that shows you that you can follow through on doing this on your own? We just kept reinforcing that. All is well. So I don't care not one bit that I miss Father's Day. If someone hadn't intervened on me, I wouldn't be able to be the father that I am today. So I felt like it's a huge honor for me to be able to show up to where a father can enjoy his Father's Day next year, where this young man can be a father one day, and this young man can show up as a loving son to a father that deserves that. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. There's going to be more content coming out. Love sharing this stuff with you all.